This is a follow-up video. This is I believe from what we concluded from the first video going over the outside of this, there was some kind of a kilowatt hour meter tester or calibrator for like the meters they use on the side of houses and things in the buildings for the utility. That's the front of it. And that's a voltmeter amp meter. Got a resistor from one of the inputs to the voltmeter. We've got a few big transformer down there, two chokes, a variable choke, looks like a ceramic rheostat, big selector switch, a choke, a bunch of switches, and I believe that thing back there is like a dummy load, it's like a heater element type thing, a bunch of wires going through it. And I figured out that a lot of those blue wires from that go up and hook to these switches here. And this transformer has a lot of taps that come off it and go up to this switch here, which is the pry.reg/switch. And that also has a few other wires. There's one more wire off this big transformer that goes over to this choke here. Actually, no, that doesn't go to that choke. It goes to the heater element in the back there. Let's see what else we can see. There's a wire off that rheostat that goes over to the far side of that heater. The other side of this rheostat goes up here, and it ties into this switch here on the end, which is the 50 or 100% switch. Let me think here, trying to make a little sense. Okay, we got this terminal here is called FL, this one. Then the one above it's called a LL. And then we got a plus minus. So it looks like FL and LL. FL is this one, and bottom it goes up to this switch. The other one goes over to the same switch but on the opposite side. I'm not sure what okay, there is a wire that comes off that side. So that's a black wire that goes around there. Looks like it goes into this choke here. That choke then goes down, and it appears it goes into this 50 or 100% switch here on the end. And the other side of this goes into a white wire. Which this might actually be a transformer. It seems that goes into this transformer here. Yep, it does. So this is actually a transformer, not a choke. So this goes into here. The other one goes into there too. And that switch is either on or off, and it's got middle position. Then next to that we have a switch that's 200, 250. And that looks, I believe that had one wire going to the input. It looks to me like it goes to this terminal up here. Another wire comes out. It appears to go to that other terminal. And then one of those goes over down there. It looks like there's a wire that's going like jumpers between these terminals. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. not real sure on that then. But it looks like sort of like a multimeter type setup with maybe some load switches. He's trying like a resistor in different values. And I'm not totally and then there's a couple meters. And I'm not real sure what the purpose of the chokes is. This choke's in series with this one. This one hooks over, and then it looks like the chokes are spliced here. That one goes into the transfer like we saw. This one's spliced off, and that goes up here to this switch, which is the 5 value switch. Which looks like would be switched on, it would hook to the load there. I can't really tell what else it would do. And then there's some yellow wire here that ties those together, it looks like. And there's a yellow wire that comes up, goes to another switch on the other choke there, which is the 2.5%. So I'm starting to think that the lower value switches up in the top there, these first few switches, 2 or 3 switches anyway, use the resistor network. They're in the back for like a load. And then I'm thinking that because of the amperage or whatever, they are then switching to inductors to make like a dummy load. And then I believe from what I'm seeing, it seems like when you get to the high end scale, you would use this variable inductor. And I think this variable resistor is like some kind of like a trim pot for the calibration of whatever you're testing. And then you can see the heat fin there that the resistors would dissipate heat from. I'm hoping I can zoom in on it. Not really. But there's a vent here in the back too that would allow air in and it would come up here. That's about all I can tell with this thing. I'm not real sure what I'm going to do with this yet. As far as I'm concerned, it's pretty much useless. It's kind of a cool looking case though, but I suppose you can gut it and use the case for a project, or part of me would like to take some of these parts out. There could be some kind of cool stuff in here, like this thing that's kind of unusual, this variable inductor. Got some voltmeters and some switches and whatnot. But or maybe you can figure out something to do with it with like a Tesla coil, but I don't know how I'd do that. I'd have to take this all apart and figure out how it's wired, and it probably wouldn't work for that anyway. And I don't really want to go through this whole thing, figure out how every wire is set up and everything, so I think I'm just going to maybe take it apart at some point down the road. But other than that, I think maybe that'll give us some further idea what this thing maybe was used for exactly, but pretty sure it's some kind of a meter tester, but that's about all I can figure. That's about all I got.